the enigmatic entrepreneur whose words will make you sure. Know, trust, and believe. The master teacher has come to help you succeed. The gem dropper, the truth speaker, the voice in the universe that will bring you to your highest peak. Welcome to the Get High on Motivation show with Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator.
The time is now. So pick up and put on your crown. Goodbye to yesterday. Welcome to life eternal. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, love bugs. It is your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator. And this is the Get High on Motivation show. If you are out there, let me know if you can hear me or not. I need to know, do I have volume or not? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All right, so winter is coming. We got to talk about that today, love bugs. We're going to have a transformational conversation, so I hope you are ready. And I know that everybody has a winter. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are in life and what you got going on. Winter will come and find your ass. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we do that, let me calm down. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Again. One more time. The biggest, deepest, longest deep breath you can take in. And blow it all out. Love bugs, I am so excited that you are here and back for another episode of Get High on Motivation. I am Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator. And I am a holistic leadership development expert. I help spiritual entrepreneurs and social impact organizations get more out of their business, more profit, more profitability, and we don't even discuss numbers. That's because we discuss personal development. Yesterday, I was on the phone with somebody and they said something that just was like, light bulb went off. She said that 80% of business development is personal development. I was like, yes, that's exactly right. Yes. I wanted to go run and scream and holler to everybody. I told y'all, a lot of times we think to get the business acumen that we desire, to get the money in the bank, we think it's about working harder, building our skills, things like that, when the truth is it's about working on ourselves. The better we are, the better our business is, the better our relationships are, all of that. It's all interconnected. And I live at that interconnection where everything comes together, that everybody seems to try to keep separate. When you go get a coach, you get a life coach. Then you got a business coach. Then you got your spiritual coach. And then you got your personal trainer. What if all those people were just one person? That's Mimi the Motivator. Okay, so let's get this conversation started. As always, I got some food for thought. My food for thought today comes from Katy Perry. Any Katy Perry fans out there? I was in that kind of mood, and then the perfect song came on for me that builds right into today's conversation. And the name of the song is called Dark Horse. And she says, are you ready for the perfect storm? Because once you're mine, there's no going back. What if you love people like that? What if you transform them like that? Because a storm doesn't always come as a bad thing. If you really think about it, if you do some scientific research, the storm serves a lot of purpose. It helps carry things to other sides of the world. Otherwise, it would not get. It carries water to the other side. It stirs up the ocean floor. It does all kind of things. And it also gives you a time to go cuddle up with your favorite cuddle buddy. But know that a storm is always going to come, and it's a perfect storm because it's perfectly working out for us, is what I believe. But what I also think about is, as a business owner, as a coach, as a consultant, what if I provided such a phenomenal service that you never want to go back to anybody else? What if in my relationship, in my romantic relationship, that I provided such a fantastic experience that you would never want to go back to your ex or go on to a next? What if we operated from that space? Really, what that space is called is operating from our best. No matter what your best is today, tomorrow, yesterday, it's not always the same. So let me tell you that your best is going to change. It's going to change with the weather. It's going to change with your financial situation. It's going to change with just your mood and the food you are eating. That's why we got to eat the right foods. But know that we have an opportunity to encapture somebody with our love, whether that is in our personal or our professional space. I believe if you operate in business from a space of love, if you let your heart lead the way, you will be unstoppable in business. Nobody will be able to mess with you. Lead with your heart, not with your head. See, our head confuses us. Our head will psych us out. Our head will tell us don't do that because that's scary. We don't do that. We've never done that. We've never seen anybody do that. So we should not do that. But is that the truth? No. That's why you're here, right? We have to think about how we can move forward in life, because if you're listening to this show, that means you have agreed with me silently or verbally or in your heart that you are now willing to become 1% better every single day. So today we're going to think about how can we operate in a way where we can capture somebody in our own storm, a good kind of storm, the kind of storm that changes their life, that turns their world upside down, but in a positive way. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've ever been in love, you know what I'm talking about. You know that person comes into your life that you're like, oh my gosh, you just do everything different. You wake up different. You get dressed different. You comb your hair different. You walk, talk. You're doing everything different because a storm has come into your life. A storm of love has come into your life. When you're starting a business, my entrepreneurs know what I'm talking about. When you're building that baby, it's like a real baby. And you're so excited to pour into this baby. So I want all of us to think about, are we ready for a perfect storm? Are we ready for somebody to come into our life and transform our lives in such a positive way that we may not even recognize ourselves in 6 months? Because we cannot recognize ourselves in one or two ways. One, because we have gone down the wrong way during this winter, or we have kept our head above water because we know that we are water walkers and we need to work on more of that instead. So I hope you are ready for today's conversation about winter coming, because I'm ready to talk about it. I just had to get some hydration in me. So if you are a Game of Thrones fan, then you know you have heard them say winter is coming about 1,000 zillion times. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. They said it sometimes and it was snowing. They had on coats and I'm like, well, ain't it winter already? Y'all look cold. But winter is coming was a statement that was always said in the House of Starks, because what they were saying is that we always coming. We always coming back. Even if you come for us, we coming back. It's always saying, it was also saying that trouble will come and you need to be prepared for it. You need to be fortified for it. And today we're going to talk about how to fortify ourselves for when trouble shows up at our doorstep, because please believe trouble will come your way. If it hadn't come already, even this year, it's not too late. All right. So the first thing I think about is that we need to be prepared for winter. Just like a farmer is prepared for winter, they prepare the ground, they can vegetables, they do all kind of things to prepare for winter so that way they can survive the winter. So we got to think, how can we survive our own personal winters, whether we know when they're coming or not? Because one thing is for sure, winter will come and it probably will come again. So how do we prepare ourselves? We prepare ourselves first and foremost by building up our emotional agility. You do that by having practices in place right here, right now. You can't wait till winter comes and then think you're about to go take the cold shower, go make the run, meditate and all that. No. We have to build up our agility right here, right now by consistently pouring into ourselves. That's why self-care is so important. Self-care as far as taking care of your mental self, self-care taking care of your physical self, your spiritual self, and even your professional self. You have to be ready for when stuff comes. If you are a business owner, if you are in leadership at your company, you know that sometimes shit hits the fan, and that's okay. It's a part of business. Business is not just some easy ride. People think that they're going to open up a business and they just going to coast through life like it's going to be some easy cruise. No, baby. It's more like a roller coaster ride. It's going to take you up, down, and all around and upside down too. That's why we're going to be prepared by doing the practices, by making sure that we are meditating every single day, making sure that we are reading the books, feeding our mind the messages that will build us up. A lot of times people want to go to the doctor when they get sick, or they want to go to church when they feel like their life is all messed up. What if we made these things regular practices? Now, I am not going to condone you going to the doctor because I am not about that life. But if you are about that life, just consider if you kept a eye on your vitals versus waiting until you feel some type of way and you can't move out of the bed and then you want to go to the hospital. No, because there's all kind of signs that let you know that winter was coming, that the sickness was coming, that whatever. There's always some signs. Just like outside, we know when winter is coming because the leaves start falling off the trees. That is our indicator. Pay attention to the indicators that even let you know that a personal winter or professional winter might be heading your way, because the storm always sends signals ahead. The next thing we need to do is have money put away for when the storm comes. I have a friend right now that probably made more money than he has ever made in his life this past year. And then he decided to kick his feet up and kick back. And now he is gasping for financial air. Did not prepare. Was out there spending big time, spending money frivolously on things that were not needed. Some of probably not even really wanted, but just because I got money in my pocket, I got money in the bank. That's why we need to be sure that we are putting money away where we cannot touch it in a savings account that does not have a debit card tied to it. Because when you have money at the same bank that you got your checking account, it's too easy just to move that money right over. Love bug. We need to be prepared for when things happen because you don't know when it's going to happen. If you're a homeowner, man, one of your appliances can go bad. If you're a business owner, somebody can quit something, somebody can sue you. It's just all kind of things that can happen. You might get sick and not be able to work for some months. Whatever may come that way, we want to be prepared for it as best we can. So either we're going to have some money put away, or you might even have a line of credit to the side. I ain't big on credit for just doing personal things, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Number 3 is accept that winters come, accept that trouble comes, accept that it's going to happen to you and that you are not exempt. Trouble has happened to every great leader that we have ever read about or heard about. That means we are not going to be exempt. Do we know anybody who has never had any trouble in their life? No. Do we know anybody who has never encountered a winter in their life? No. Even the richest, wealthiest people have had a winter. The richest, wealthiest of people have had a financial winter. A lot of them done filed bankruptcy. So think about that. How can you be prepared? How can you accept that this is just a part of life? How can you accept that? I'm going to tell you how you can accept it by accepting when it rains outside, the same way you accept when it's sunny outside. Accept the hot and accept the cold. Accept the ebb and accept the flow. We just want to accept the flow and accept the abundance coming in, but when it gets, it has to peter off for a little while so we can get back in check possibly. We're like, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, why is God doing this to me? Why is the universe doing this to me? I know I'm not alone. I know that at some point in your life, you have said those words. Why is this happening to me? How about it's not happening to you? How about it's happening through you? How about it's happening for you? I believe that a winter comes so back in the day, a farmer could get some rest. A winter comes sometimes so we can rest. A winter comes sometimes so we can reevaluate what's what. So before I talk about what to do during the storm, I have one more thing that I'm going to beg of thee. When you are going through trouble, now this might be a stretch, but when you are going through trouble, make it your business to say thank you, universe. To give thanks and praise because you know that this situation has come to serve you, that everything is working out for you, that everything is already worked out for you. So give thanks in advance for the pendulum swinging back. We talked about the law of compensation a few weeks ago, and it's all about this pendulum swing. So if you go all the way broke, you can go all the way wealthy. Be ready for that pendulum swing and give thanks in advance that it's going to swing the other direction, even if you don't know when. I mean, the one thing that I always think about is after every single winter, every single year, spring comes. Be ready for spring. Give thanks that spring is coming. Give thanks for the abundance and the harvest and everything that's coming and the beauty that's coming with your spring. And accept that you had to go through this winter to get to your spring. Ashe? Next, we got to talk about going through the storm. When you are going through the storm, this is more of a time than another to practice your practices. So if you have spiritual practices, if you have physical routines, if you have a meal plan that you follow, this is not the time to deviate. This is the time to cling to your practices, cling to meditation, cling to that cold shower, cling to anything that you know can adjust your vibration and take it back up to where it desires and deserves to be. You desire and deserve to be up there, so does your vibration and everyone attached to you. So be sure that you are digging deeper into your practices. Maybe this is more of a time to fast more. So instead of doing that little, intermittent fasting, I eat 8 hours and I am off of eating for 16. How about you fast for the whole 24 with just water? And see how you feel. What if you fasted for 3 days in a row? When you fast 3 days in a row, some stuff gonna change in you. People be talking about that keto diet. You're gonna get these, let's call them little ketogens or whatever the proper term is. It start happening in your body. You're gonna get so aware and attuned to your environment. It's gonna be ridiculous. You're gonna be better to respond. Yes, I'm glad I said that because too many of us are reacting. You are gonna be more equipped to push through. So be sure that you are digging into your self-care practices, digging into taking those spiritual baths, digging into burning your sage, burning your incense, whatever you got to burn your weed. I don't care what you got to burn. Burn it and be sure that you are keeping your energy where it is. If you find yourself being the one with the funky vibration, clean your vibration up and don't go out sharing that funky vibration with other people. When you know your vibration is off and you know you're going through a winter and you're in a very hurt space, we already know we're going to come off and be hurting other people. We're going to say sideways stuff that we really don't mean. And sometimes we can't even shut it off. That's why you might need to go into your own dark, quiet space and get your shit together. Because there are people who are depending on you, love bug. They're depending on your energy being up. They're depending on you to continue at the same rate that you've been going, no matter though you got trouble going on in your life. I just promise that I can remember when I was an employee and I had something going on in my life and I tried to go tell my boss and she looked at me like, what does that have to do with me? And what does that have to do with business? I get it. We have to be prepared for our own winter. And we have to do our best not to allow our winter to affect other people when we're going through the winter. The last thing I want to talk about is how to recover from your winter. Because winter is coming. So first of all, let's recap. Winter is coming, so let's be prepared. Let's accept that it's coming. Let's build up our emotional agility. Let's build up our spiritual agility, our energetic threshold. So that way when it comes, it's like, water rolling off a duck's back. We're going to make sure that we put away resources. Whether that resource is money. Some of us need to put some food away. If you hadn't put some food away in case what do they call it? The Armageddon? I don't know what you call it when everything goes crazy. Be prepared because something might happen. You don't know. We at war right now. And just because war hadn't really come to our turf in America in the past doesn't mean that it ain't going to come now. Be prepared for your winter. And give thanks that spring is coming. Give thanks for the winter. Give thanks that this is coming to build you, to give you rest, to give you resolve. So that before, I skipped something, y'all. We got to rewind a little bit. Something else I want to ask you to do while you are going through your winter is to reevaluate, reset, readjust, really take a step back and see what is the next move. During our winter, it is a perfect time for us to plan our next moves. A farmer doesn't just get out there and plant stuff, y'all. There's a whole plan to it of what's going to go where, on what row, what's going to be put in that spot when it's taken up. Make the plans for when spring comes. Make the plans so that way when your spring comes, you are ready and you don't jack it off and put yourself back in your own winter. Okay? But most importantly, when we are coming out of this winter, we have to let the winter go. We can't dwell on the past. We can't dwell on the hurt. We can't dwell on what did not work out for us and keep replaying that in our mind. Every time we replay something that does not feel good in our mind, then we are rehashing the emotions. We are also sending a message out to the universe that, hey, can you make that happen to me again? It's something about that I'm attached to. So can we do more of that? Focus on your future. Focus on where you're going. Focus on what you are creating, because you are a God, you are a creator, and that's what you came to do. Get back to that. Come back to that. Come back to who you are. Remember who you are. Remember what you set out to do. Remember why you set out to do it. Because during your winters, you're going to have to remember that. When the winter has wore your ass out and you feel like I cannot go any further, I don't want to get out of this bed. I hope my phone don't ring. I wish I could cancel my whole calendar. That time is going to come. But when it comes, we have already done the work. And from now on, we're going to be ready for it. And we're not going to dwell on what's not working. We're going to, if anything, we're going to make it our business to remember what has worked. Remember the best time in your life. Remember when you were operating at your best. Remember when you were creating the best results possible. And I don't care if you were a young somebody and this was 20 years ago. It does not matter. We need to remember who we are. We need to remember the power that we bring. When we were younger, we looked at life a little differently. Maybe sometimes we need to step back and step into our youth and look at life through youthful eyes. Maybe we need to step even further back into a child's position to look at life through a mind of imagination and color this new life the way we desire it to be. I don't care how dismal life has been for you. I don't care if life is dismal for you right now and life is a storm for you right now. I have come to tell you that the storm did not come to last. The storm is over at the moment you decide it's over. So make that decision today for any storm that you have going on in your life. Make the decision. The word decision says, I'm going to cut away some stuff. So what do you need to cut away? What's dragging you down? What's holding you in a low vibrational space? What puts you in a low vibrational space even when you are riding high? Who puts you in that low vibrational space when you are riding high? Love bugs. We may not be able to control our environment, but we can control how we respond to it. And at this point in our lives, we don't have time for negativity. We don't have time to be beating up on ourselves. We don't even have time to be beating up on other people. We only have time to be building ourselves up and preparing for our spring. We only have time to be resting our minds and resting our spirits. We only have time to be writing down our goals and deconstructing those goals so we can see how we're going to get there. This is the time, love bug, when you're in your winter. When you're in trouble, trouble brings out the best in you if you allow it. It will bring out your real strengths that may have been lying dormant because you hadn't had anything to test you. Winter is coming, love bug, if it's not already here. And it's coming for you. So be prepared. Be prepared, accept that it's coming. Be prepared to go through it and be prepared to recover yourself when you're done. To congratulate yourself, to celebrate yourself for making it through. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a big bear hug. Give yourself everything that you are looking for someone externally to give to you. Because when we're going through a winter and when we're going through hard times, that's when we feel like we need people the most. And that's typically when they get ghost on us. So don't expect for people to come and rescue you from your winter. Don't expect for them to dig you out. Don't expect for them to shine some light on you. You have to shine some light on yourself. You have to shine some light on your own situation. You have to be the light sometimes. You have to be the light in darkness. And that's the biggest value of darkness. Anytime we are put in a dark space, love bug, it is an opportunity for us to shine our light brighter. Love bug, I'm sending my love, my heart, and the highest, purest vibrational energy that I have available to you right now. I want to speak over you that right now, that any storm that you may be going through or that may be coming your way, that it will not faze you. It will not stop you. It will not deter you. It will not discourage you. I'm speaking over you that today you're going to feel a jolt of happiness, that you're going to feel a jolt of joy, that you're going to feel a jolt of positive energy that you don't even know where it came from. Just know that came from me, boo. It didn't come from me. It came from the ancestors. It came from the universe. It came from you because you desired it. Desire more happiness and watch it show up. I love you, love bug, and I appreciate you for sticking with me to the end. Let's do this again next week. Same time, same place. I love you. I appreciate you. Be happy, be healthy, and be you.